So I was listening to the radio right now, and this commercial came on by Lap Band. And right away the lady started saying, let's face it, that being fat or overweight isn't attractive, and it's not healthy, and so on and so forth. Just degrading fat people right off the bat. And I couldn't believe it, right? First of all, I understand that being overweight, especially being extremely overweight, is not healthy. You could have heart problems, end up having a heart attack, so on and so forth. I understand that. But also, being underweight is not healthy either. If you're not properly nourished, you're not getting your vitamins and minerals in your diet, that can also be detrimental to your health. And when you have this campaign like that's going on right now, people saying, oh, it's bad to be fat, it's bad to be fat, bad to be fat, and then people stop eating. That's what happens. People are like, I'm tired of being fat, I don't be fat, and so they stop eating. And that's not healthy either. But that's kind of beside the point. That's not necessarily what I want to discuss. What I want to discuss is why a person's fat. I'm going to go on a sidetrack for a second. Homosexual people, they say, why would I choose to be homosexual? They're like, it's frowned upon in society. People hate homosexuals, so why would I choose it? And they say, that they're born with that condition that makes them homosexual, whatever it may be, And it's the same thing with being overweight. A lot of people didn't become overweight just because they ate a whole bunch. A lot of people, like myself, I was fat when I was a little kid. But I was born that way. I was born a little fat kid. And when you're little, you don't get a choice of what you want to eat. You don't have decisions like, oh, I'm going to eat more vegetables, this and that, to try to lose weight. You don't get that choice. You get a plate in front of you from your parents, and they tell you this is what you're supposed to eat. Whether it's from a fast food or from home cooking, greasy fried chicken, that's not your choice to eat that. That's all you have to eat. Your parents tell you eat this, and that's what you do. And if your parents are feeding you stuff that's keeping you fat, you're born fat, and then your parents are feeding you stuff that's keeping you fat, that's not your fault. And so and for a second, I imagine that, say some 10-year-old kid or whatever, and they have to deal with already ignorant kids in school telling them, oh, you're just disgusting and fat and this and that. And again, it's not your fault. Not your fault what you eat, what your parents give you. Not your fault that you were born fat. And you have to deal with all the ignorance. Then you're in the car with your parents or whatever, and then you hear this commercial come on and say, oh, let's face it, that being fat, that's not attractive. I mean, can you imagine the emotional trauma that kid has to deal with? Or just people in general. Like I said, there's this whole campaign going around against fat people. And a lot of people, they try their hardest. People really try their hardest to eat better and this and that. But you can't go to the extremes. Like I said, then you're going to start being malnourished. And some people, it's really hard to lose weight. So for them, just to have just to come straight out and be like, oh, if you're fat, you're just unattractive, period. That's it. No. First of all, that's not even true. There's girls that are beautiful that are fat, or, a little bit bigger, or whatever. Like Adele, that singer Adele. She's gorgeous. I think she's gorgeous. And she's a little bit chunky or whatever, but she's beautiful. Beautiful voice, beautiful looks. So I just can't believe that they would just try to stereotype everybody, try to stereotype all fat people as ugly, try to degrade them. So, you know what? Fuck you, Lap Band. Seriously, that's how I feel. When I heard that, I'm getting so mad. It's just people who never had to deal with being fat, people who were born, people who were born skinny, who can eat anything and don't have to worry about getting fat. They just don't know. It's really hard. Especially if you're born overweight, it's not your choice of what your parents gave you when you're a little kid. And so when you get older, you're addicted to these foods that you've been fed to since you're a little kid. You already have all that weight. You were never able to lose it, and it's not easy. And so I'm just so mad, man. It's just really not a lot of times. It's really not people's fault that they're overweight. So fuck them. Fuck Lap Band. I don't care. I don't care what they say about it makes you healthier if you use our product and you lose weight. No, I don't care. I really don't care. If you want to lose weight, if you're trying, you do your thing, but don't use them. You do your little exercise thing or whatever. I know I'm rambling now, but I'm just so mad. Just fuck them, man. Seriously. You guys over there at Lap Band, you think that you could just make a commercial that, because nobody protects fat people. People say make jokes about fat people on TV and commercials all the time, and nobody defends them. You know, somebody makes fun of somebody because their skin color or because they're homosexual or whatever. You know, they get people to defend them, but not fat people. You know, and like I said, people are born fat just like people are born black, and people are born homosexual, and people are born whatever else. And I know obviously you can't lose being black or lose being homosexual, but it's not all that easy to lose being fat either. Especially, again, when you're born that way, and it's not your choice what you're being fed to when you're a little kid. So I don't know. Fuck them. Don't let people tell you. I don't care what your weight is, what your color is. Don't let people tell you you're not attractive just because of how you are, because it ain't true. There's bigger people that are attractive. There's really skinny people that are attractive. Whatever your physical conditions, just don't let people tell you that you're not attractive just because of how you're born. That's one thing that I do agree with homosexual people. You know, that if you're born a certain way, it really isn't your fault. You know, and a lot of people, they try to change whatever it may be. You know, a lot of people who are homosexual, they hate being homosexual. Just like a lot of people who are fat hate being fat. But even in both cases, especially obviously being homosexual, no matter what you try to do, you know, you can't get rid of it. You're like, I hate being this way because society hates me. And, you know, being fat too. Sometimes you're like, man, I try my best and there's just nothing I could do, you know. So don't let ignorant people like that degrade you or make you feel down, because they're ignorant. That's it. So whatever.